So, when did you start it and when did you finish it? Just out of curiosity.
I started it a few days ago and I finished it a few days ago.
Oh my god. It's fun. I thought you started it right at the beginning of the month.
I started at the beginning of the month and then I left it.
Okay. Alright.
Okay, so this month is Ready Player One.
Hmm.
Okay, so should we do like a basic rundown of what the story was?
Yeah. I mean, you know it more than I do. Like, you've seen the movie and read it a few times.
Yeah, I've read it a couple of times. Okay, so basically it's there's the world and it's set in the future, and there's a video game that everyone uses basically as the internet.
Because they want to get away from the
want
real world because it's shit.
Yeah, the real world's shit. Yeah, so everything's turned to crap. People are trying to get off the planet and stuff like that, but there's no real bits and bobs. Anyway, everyone lives sort of vicariously through the Oasis. And the guy who created the Oasis dies, and then he leaves an Easter egg for everyone to find. That's the MacGuffin. That's what everyone is searching for, and that's basically the story. Okay, so now that we've done the basic thing, you jump in first. Give me your rating, a quick like little review, and then I'll do mine. Then we'll unpack it.
Alright. I'll just go through my notes. So, the concept is really, really cool. I really like it, especially how plausible it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just taking today's technology and just adding a couple decades, basically. It's, really awesome. The story and journey of it is just nice and simple, which can be kind of a bad thing, but it's mostly a good thing. I kind of think of it like The Martian, how it's just so nice and easy to read. Shit goes wrong, but it's like refreshing to read it.
Yeah.
Especially compared to like Gates of Fire last month.
Yeah.
Like I love that book, but it was hard to read, whereas this one was just like
light, easy.
Just like
pick it up. Yeah.
Also, another thing I really liked was the short chapters. I always like that in a book because the way I read is whenever I can, 10 minutes at a time, I can like read a full chapter and not feel like I've kind of left it half done. What's going to happen in the next thing. What else? Yeah, that's kind of it for now.
Okay, what's your rating out of 10?
Like a 9. At first I gave it a 10, but I was like, oh no, I should reserve that for like the absolute best shit. And this is like almost that, but I feel the simplicity is what sort of also puts it down a bit, because it's nothing unexpected happened. Really.
Yeah. I feel like pretty much the same actually. I enjoyed the concept. I really thought it was easy to read. Even though I did the audiobook this time, but I have read it before. There was a lot of over explanation sometimes, and then there was also a lot of foreshadowing, and there was a lot of explanation about the plot. Like there's a lot of like plot and foreshadowing. So they'd tell you stuff, and then in the next chapter that would happen.
Right.
So there's a lot of foreshadowing. There's a lot of stuff coming up, and that was all okay though. It was okay. I feel like that was some of the simple stuff that you said was sort of bogging it down. Like when he said a reference about a movie, he'd explain what the movie was and where it was in the film. So then anyone who was reading the book could get it, and I feel that that's good.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit annoying at times where it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I got that one. Not everyone's from the 80s. Not everyone knows the 80s stuff. But other than that, I thought it was quite good. Out of 10, I think I'd give it about an 8. I don't know, I can't remember what I gave Gates of Fire, but
I think you gave it like 7.
I think this was good. But I'll give it an 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I guess we'll start unpacking it then. I thought the stacks was awesome. I thought at the start of the book,
Oh,
where they live,
caravans.
caravans was. I thought that was a cool idea. Very plausible. Very something that could happen. Apart from Osh, I think Osh would probably say something about that.
Osh is gone in this world.
Yeah, Osh doesn't care.
I mean, his family and like a whole bunch of people were murdered, and they're like, oh,
no one cares.
Meth lab.
Yeah, meth
what
lab.
do you do?
Yeah.
Just a simple old, ordinary meth explosion.
Yeah. They paint the picture of him as a very underdog guy who doesn't have any friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like he's getting beaten up at school and stuff before he goes to the Oasis school.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's in a world where everyone lives on the Oasis and everyone's into counterculture, like nerd stuff. I feel like that, like being into all that other stuff, will just make you normal. I don't know where that really fit, but like it's okay. I guess you have to have that kind of thing to like set the character up to get behind him and be like, yeah, I root for you. I think you're good.
Downtrodden. Kind
of. What do you think of the romance in it? I thought that was a little bit like shoehorned.
Yeah.
But it was like pretty casual.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can, I wasn't surprised when they kind of split up, and then I was like, well, they're gonna get back together.
Yeah.
It was like, whatever. It's shoehorn's probably good.
Shoehorn, yeah.
But it didn't add or take away to me. It's just like, oh, this is a thing to like, make it sort of more realistic,
Yeah.
Like there's a chance, you could have a romance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I thought that like the whole identity stuff was quite cool as well. Like everyone had like this hidden identity on the Oasis, and like everyone created their own name. And like Parzival was a really cool name because he's the knight who found the Holy Grail.
Yep.
He's the knight who basically found the egg, found the thing, the Easter egg. So it was cool. I think.
That's cool. That circles back. I didn't think about that.
Artemis, god of the hunt.
Yep.
So she's hunting as well. That's pretty cool. Did you see H was going to be a dude?
She was a woman, wasn't it?
A woman, yeah. Sorry.
I that's one of the things I remembered from the movie. So
okay, right. Yeah. That's okay.
I mean, I can't remember if I didn't see it coming when I watched the movie, I guess. Can't remember. But yeah, that was like a cool thing, especially when there's like at least a couple paragraphs about like being a woman and African American, and like, oh, I can succeed in life, or I felt like I could succeed in life
if I was a white man.
Pretended to be a white man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I thought that was like quite interesting. It was definitely like a kind of political thing about that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, social commentary.
Social commentary. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. There's, for me, it's like similar to again with The Martian, where like there's some sort of underlying meaning with like video games, and especially at the end where it's like they aren't actually everything, and you should when he's like for the first time in ages, I didn't want to go back into the Oasis.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't find like any underlying kind of sort of what do you call it, like
lessons or morals or anything like that.
It was just like a fun story.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's fine. It's just one of the types of books there are. It was really good.
I thought it was cool that it really showed what big corporations are like. Like they're willing to do almost anything to sell and like have a profit margin, boost profits, boost sales, everything like that. To the point where they were basically enslaving people, and they were doing it in a way where people's human rights weren't being violated.
The indenture thing.
Yeah, indenture bracelet and like eye gear or something like that. But you're basically living in fucking inside an iPad, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a cool like espionage kind of.
It was.
It's only a few chapters, but I like that.
I feel like
That wasn't in the movie at all.
No,
right?
it wasn't in the film.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
A lot of shit wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Actually.
A lot of stuff wasn't in the film.
Because I remember when I watched the movie, I can't remember where it is, but like when he just like goes backwards to find a clue or something, and I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And that's not in the book at all.
Yeah. It's not. Oh, you just gotta go backwards to find the clue.
They're fucking gonna do that.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I felt that each gate was actually really well thought out and interesting in this.
Yes.
And like every gate in the movie was just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like every gate was different. Apart from every gate was different.
I can't remember a lot of the movie.
Yeah, I can't remember a lot of it either, but I remember every gate was different. I think.
Yeah.
The first one was all about D&D, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And like it was in Ludus, and I thought that all the little clues along the way were quite cool. I thought that was part of the success of it, is that like all the little clues and all the adding up and everything else, and all the detective work that sort of went into it was really good. Like it reminded me of something like that National Treasure, where it's like one clue leads to the next, to the next, to the next, and like you even have to use a few clues from 2 clues back to try and figure out this next clue as well. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was really cool. That Nolan Sorrento was just like, he was very ruthless. He just wanted to kill people and get things done.
Yeah.
There was hardly any reference to him actually working with Halliday and Og.
Did he work with him?
Apparently, I think that's what they said in the movie. I can't really remember, but yeah, he like worked for them for like 1 semester or something like that, and that's how he became the president of IOI.
Okay.
But yeah, there was like very little. I feel like there's certain things that were in the movie that were made stronger, and certain things in the book that were stronger.
I guess with him as being like the sort of main bad guy, there was not, other than him being paid by this company, there wasn't like, he didn't have any other motives.
Yeah, and that was like, I think that I felt like that was a little bit of a downfall. Like,
yeah, I mean, it is a motive, but it's,
I'm going to be evil just because I'm being paid.
Yeah.
I'm in the company.
Yeah.
But that also shows that there's like very little emotion in the character, where it's like, I don't mind killing a few people and just getting rid of them.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah, when they murdered one of the Japanese guys.
Daito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like their side story.
Yeah.
And they're like
that they're brothers, but they're otaku.
They're like super like away from the world. Like, don't go outside.
Yeah, there's a weird name for it, but I can't remember what it is. Yeah. That's like, apparently that's a thing in Japan. Like, there's like a subculture of people.
Hidden millions or something, or forgotten millions, something like that.
Yeah. Wade has no real clue what he's going to do with any of that money. Like, Wade's just doing it, but he doesn't really understand. Like, from going along the story with him and knowing how he was treated at school and how he learned to use words as weapons and stuff like that, and he was quite smart, but he absolutely had no clue what he was going to do with that money. It took a relationship with Artemis to kind of figure out what he was going to do with it, and he was quite I wouldn't want to say naive, but he was quite like I don't know. I guess it's like innocent in a few. Like, his thoughts are like pretty like innocent, like they're not like very well thought out. Like, even at the end, they say, we're only going to help you if you give us some of the money or something like that. So then he broadcasts to everyone in the Oasis. And he's like, I'm going to give all my money to my buddies. Yeah. And then he's like, oh no, I was only joking about that. Yeah, I was joking too. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. There was like a lot of like moments where I felt like his gullibleness showed through, and like I don't know, he just wasn't. It didn't feel like he was like that strong a character, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like, I feel like Artemis or H could have easily won this thing,
Yeah.
and figured it out before him. And there's a huge portion in the center where his feelings with like Artemis and everything else, screw it up for him, and he just goes off and he does nothing for like months.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like the whole time they're on point and they're trying to figure out the clue, and he's just dicking about, and I get closer and closer to it, and it's like really in some respects maybe he shouldn't win. You know what I mean?
Well, I
turned into a bit of a dickbag for a bit there,
because the others could have definitely won, but it's because he got that coin from doing the Pac-Man thing.
Yeah, and I felt that was an Easter egg inside an Easter egg as well.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, James Halliday put that Easter egg in there. I thought there was some cool stuff, but I found like we like learned a lot about James Halliday.
Yeah.
And
for sure, like his childhood, starting his business. It was very Apple-esque.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Yeah, and especially like splitting with his partner and his partner, like his business partner.
Yeah. That
does
was
a side thing.
Yeah, that I just remember that now. Like, there's no Shining part in it. Like the Shining stuff in the movie. There's like huge portions of the movie where they're like, oh, this is the Shining. This is where Halliday went out with that girl, and then you have to dance with the skeletons and stuff like that in the movie. And then like I think that can't even remember what the second gate was about. But you got a key, and then you had to unwrap the key because the key was wrapped up in silver foil.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Are you talking about in the book?
In the book, yeah.
Yeah, and that's with something with the guitars and the Rush album.
Oh, yeah, and the Rush album.
And he like played it, and he got extra
points,
or points of information or something.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's where he found out that the final gate he couldn't do alone or something.
Yeah, that's right. I think that it's interesting that I think the author puts in almost like a soundtrack for this. He puts the soundtrack into this. I think like he lists certain things.
Yeah.
He does it in the Armada book as well, like because that's about video games as well. It's a like very like Ready Player One-esque.
Yeah.
And he has a whole set, so you can like look that up on Spotify and like listen to it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because I did listen to the Rush, or part of the album. Was it 2112 or something?
I thought it was cool that they touched on like a little bit of every like pop culture thing, where they said some stuff about Power Rangers. They said stuff about like the
fucking everything.
The old Spider-Man that was in Asia, and like how the Asians couldn't wrap their head around the whole Spider-Man thing. So they're like, oh, Spider-Man has a big robot now and stuff like that, because they just did whatever they could to like sell the product.
Yeah. And
it was like I thought that was quite cool. Will Wheaton did a really good job of like acting the whole thing out when I did the audiobook.
Yep.
He did a great job, and that's like definitely part of the reason why I liked it a little bit more.
Okay.
What else have we got on here? I thought the haptic suits and everything was interesting, like the whole feedback. Like you got the gloves and you can feel stuff, and it got to the point where in the book where he buys a gun, and he goes, "Oh wow, this gun." Like it feels a little bit heavier in real life, but I'm so used to it. Like I know exactly how to shoot things because I did it digitally.
Yeah, it's basically taking today's tech and understanding, like because we've played like Call of Duty and stuff. If we got a gun, we would have some understanding, not physically, but we would know how it works. Operates and pull the slide back and whatever.
Yeah, I thought about that, and it's like
hand placement.
Yeah, it's like change a little bit for war and stuff like that. Some of it is a bit weird, but yeah. Og, I thought Og was a good character because he had absolutely no idea what the hell was going on with James Halliday's stuff.
Yeah,
all he knew was that they were buddies, and that like he was real upset that his mate had died.
Yeah,
and like his mate obviously was like a little bit antisocial, so it rolls back to the old Apple thing. Apple thing where he had a buddy and that guy couldn't understand what he was on about, and
it was kind of like merging what was Steve Jobs and what was the other guy? Fuck.
Steve wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like Steve Jobs was weird, but he was like the front.
Yeah, the front house.
And I guess the other Steve was a bit quieter, but
like he got on with people and stuff.
Eccentric. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like twisting them both, so it wasn't like just a copy paste.
It was very like it shows you like a lot of those games like Second Life and Roadblocks and everything else that we have today. Like YouTubers get famous and stuff, or they just play these things, and it shows that like that's going to be more of a cultural thing in the future. I think that like esports is going to be very very big.
Yeah, it's already pretty big in
Korea and stuff, right?
Yeah, like win millions of dollars in prize money and shit.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitch. How do you feel about Twitch?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird because
like what I think of it, or like would I use it?
Yeah, what do you think of it? Because there are people that just like talk on it like this, like they do podcasts and stuff on it as well.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's not that different to YouTube.
No, really. Not really. Yeah,
it's just
live feed, I guess.
Yeah, but you can like do videos and they stay on there for at least a while.
Yeah.
You know, like YouTube has live streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the same but different.
Rolling it back to the old Ready Player One thing, it's like that is all incorporated in the Oasis as well, where he's got his own TV channel. And it's his avatar, and it's his this and everything else, and he puts old Japanese things on there, like the Giant Man that he goes on that mission with Daito with.
Yeah, that was it's a very very good book. Really glad I read it.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a little bit lighter, but obviously because I'd read it before, I was like, oh bloody hell, I shouldn't have picked the book I've already read.
Well, this is a book I could see myself reading again in a couple of years.
Yeah, well, this is probably the third time I've done it, so...
Oh,
yeah. I've done two. I think I read the first one, I read your copy of it.
Oh, okay.
And then I did 2 times on the audiobook.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, one of the downsides to it being kind of simple, like it's not a simple book, but it's simpler than most books.
Yeah.
There's not much else I can say about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it was like a good romp, hey, like that's what it was. Like
it's a nice journey, and like
I feel like that's the difference between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings films. It's like Lord of the Rings film was like, oh my god, we're gonna go save the world.
Yeah.
And The Hobbit was just like, yeah, we're gonna go free a mountain and a dragon and stuff. And we're just gonna have a good time and eat some bread on the way. You know? I feel like there was like it wasn't the be all and end all. It was just a really nice story, and it had lots of like fun bits in it. So I just thought it was lighter. I thought that like something light would be good. Yeah. Cool. So what else? What else have you read this month?
What else have I read? Not much else, because most of what I'm at the nearing the end of the Powder Mage book. Yeah, it's really cool.
And then who wrote that again?
Brian McKellen or something.
Brian McClelland or whatever.
McClelland, yeah, something like that. It's pretty cool. The first few hours it was like, this is okay.
Yeah.
But then it's really good. Part of it is like, it's one of those books where you're just thrown in and shit's happening and you just got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Cool, man. Cool.
I don't want to say too much.
I did a resin, the new resin one.
Oh yeah.
And I don't remember anything about it now.
Oh my god, really?
I don't know. I was on my way here and I was like, what is Keith going to ask me about the other stuff I've read this month? And I was like, oh fucking hell, I don't remember anything about that book. But no, I do remember. I actually do remember a little bit about it now. Now I'm thinking about it, but it was really good. It was good.
Yeah.
It was this good book. Hopefully, you get in when you get to it, you like it. Clive Cussler died the other day. So,
oh shit!
Yeah, he's done $85. He's huge.
Fuck, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I know. He only released I guess his family only released it yesterday.
Right.
On the 24th, I think he died.
Shit. Oh, that's sad. He's fucking old though, eh?
Yeah, real old. But he's done 85 books.
That's wow.
Some of them were co-written, but like 85
I
books.
saw that the more recent ones, his son or something was.
Yeah, Dirk Cussler. I guess his name was Dirk.
Oh, that's
Dirk
right.
Cussler.
Yeah. So is he gonna like take over?
I hope he does. Like his last book's coming out this year, but it's gonna be a weird thing because I was just used to like going to like the warehouse or something and seeing the top 20 books that come out this year.
Yeah.
And his book's like always like a new one that's in there. There's always just like a new Clive Cussler book. So it's gonna be weird going into it and there's gonna be no new Clive Cussler books. But I guess. Like he's got other characters, like he's got the Dirk Pitt character.
Yeah.
He's got the Fargo character, which is it's like a couple. It's like a wife and a husband, and they just go and do like archaeology type stuff, and they get caught up in things.
Okay.
So that's quite cool.
Is that a separate series?
It's a separate series, yeah, but it's all in the same universe. So like Dirk can meet up with the Fargos.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's a guy called Isaac Bell, and he's a 1920s detective, and like. When he comes across like mysteries or like artifacts and stuff, it's from even further back, so it's like Napoleon stuff and everything else. And then you also see the perspective because it jumps forward in time, where it's like Isaac Bell's dead, but like his grandkids like looking through his stuff or something like that, you know.
So does this universe have like supernatural, magical elements?
No, it doesn't have any of that stuff. Like I think that like there is stuff, but it's only when that character believes it, like.
Oh, okay.
Like
an unreliable narrator kind of thing.
I think so. Like when it, because like sometimes it starts off in the past and there's a character that you follow.
Yeah.
You know how you just get thrown into a book and it's like, oh well, this is 1600 BC or something like that, and it's like the Aztec guy's running through the bush because he's afraid that like the dragon's gonna kill him or something like that. But it turns out there's a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So there's no actual. It's all based on science and reality. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
I'll just go to my Goodreads because I feel like I'm forgetting something. But I'm listening to the Powder Mage one.
Oh, you're listening to that?
Yep. And I'm physically reading Motherless Brooklyn by, I forget his name now, but Edward Norton made a movie, adapted it into a movie that came out last year or earlier this year.
Oh,
it's
cool.
like it's a detective story, but the main character has Tourette's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and it's from his point of view, and it starts with like he's not a detective. He's like an underling for like a low level mob boss type guy.
Oh, okay.
And they do this deal or something, and then like the boss gets stabbed, and then it's like gone back to when he was in the orphanage, and like the boss was obviously younger, and like getting them to do like basic shit like put these boxes in this van and shit like that.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's slowly getting older. It's quite interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. So does it remind you a little bit of Lock and Key? Oh, not Lock and Key. Lock and Mora. Sorry, the first one with chains and stuff.
Oh, I suppose it does. Yeah, yeah, that kind of mentor.
Yeah, mentor. Yeah. What else have I been doing? I read a book called by Stephen Wolfe, I think his name is.
Okay.
And Stephen Knight, I think his name is. One of them, I can't remember. He does zombie books.
Okay.
Zombie books. Yeah. So I read one of his books. It was quite cool. It was about it's called These Deadlands, and then I got the second one. It's called These Deadlands, the Desolation. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's about it feels like it's set in a Risen world. So like. It's just like a bunch of army dudes, and they're trying to like fortify stuff and like save civilians and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what else are you reading?
I'm reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
Oh yeah. How's that doing? Because it's like a really
so boring.
So boring.
So boring. There's some good things about it, but it's fine. But
I guess those things aren't really for everyone. Eh? Like I know that Daniel really put a lot of stock into it, and he really enjoyed it.
yeah, there's things to get from it. These lessons, but it's
far and few between. Eh?
Yeah, it's
It's
just hard to read. Like, and that's not the book's fault. Like, these were his like journals or whatever. He didn't write this as a book for other people. He's like writing these lessons for himself. Yeah. So it's good, but it's
I felt a little bit the same when I was reading The Prince, the Machiavelli one.
Oh, okay.
I thought that like, there was lots of really interesting things you could get from it, but it was far and few between, and it was like quite bogged down by the language barriers and stuff like that as well. Yeah. It's like, oh, bloody hell.
I finished a book called Confessions of a Yakuza.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were reading it last month.
Yeah.
How's that going? How's that?
That was fantastic. I absolutely loved it, actually. It's just like this Yakuza guy's life story.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. 1984, finished that.
Oh yeah, what do you think of the Thought Police and everything else? And
oh well, I don't like them.
No, you don't. Like them. But like, do you like? Because when I think I did it quite a while ago, and I can't even remember what the fuck goes on in it. But I remember leaving it thinking, oh wow, well we've done a lot of that to ourselves. Yeah. Actually, like we've gone along and we've accepted a lot of this 1984 stuff, and we just let it happen.
Yeah. It's a great book, especially for how old it is. It's like 70 years old. Yeah,
it's interesting when you get something so old that like tells the future or something like that.
Yeah. But also in the writing style, it didn't feel dated at all. Yeah. Like it didn't feel like it was written that long ago.
I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and they said, "Have I ever heard of the book Titan?" Have you ever heard of that book? It's a very old book, and it was written back in the day. And it was about a big giant boat that had 4 smokestacks and crashed into an iceberg. And it predicted the bloody Titanic. Yeah. And it was even called Titan.
Yeah, I have heard of that actually.
How crazy is that? And you know,
the coronavirus prediction.
The coronavirus prediction. And then there's also another one. You know, do you remember that book a few years... Oh, there was a movie a few years ago, but there's a book about it as well. And it was the most famous spy capture in American history. They found a guy who had a coin, and the coin was hollowed out and it had some microfilm in it. Okay. And it had Tom Hanks, and he was the lawyer for this guy. Well, that book was written 10 years ago, 10 years before that event happened. Same as the Titan and the coronavirus one. Yeah. But it was written by the guy who lived upstairs from the whole event happening. Wow. How weird is that? That these people are like almost predicting the future and writing books down. I mean, it's probably all bullshit or whatever, but
I mean,
it's pretty interesting.
I don't think there's like a conspiracy where, like, you know, there's not like fucking what are they called? The triangle people.
Flat earthers.
What the fuck?
The triangle people.
What are they called?
Oh yeah,
it's like the Illuminati.
Oh right.
I don't think, you know, there's that type of group where they're like, okay, first we're going to write a book about what happens, and then we're going to do it. Like,
yeah. I just thought it was really weird that like those things happen.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you explain how accurate some of these things are, but
yeah.
Cool. And I finished the First Law trilogy, not the standalones, just the.
Oh yeah, so you did. What was the last one? The Argument of Kings.
Yeah, last Argument of Kings.
What do you think about that?
It's great.
Yeah, I thought it was good, man.
Loved it.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I liked the. I actually really liked how destroyed everything became. Like, that war with the Gurkha in the end became so devastating that like they basically used like a nuclear weapon, and like they killed their own people as well.
Yeah.
I think that Logan Ninefingers becoming king was really awesome. That was the only time that everyone was united against the South.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
I wouldn't mind a short story set where like back in time when like Logan is younger, when he's like full fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And he's like the bad guy.
You know what it should
Like
be?
from someone
Shivers' brother.
Oh, it could be.
Like, yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I think Shivers is my favourite character out of the whole thing, though.
I really enjoyed him. I enjoyed him.
And Glock will be a very close second. I don't know why I like Shivers so much, but yeah.
I don't know who stands
Just
out for
his
me.
journey.
I feel like all the characters were equally unique and very like you could grasp onto any of them.
Oh yeah.
I don't know which one would be my favorite. I really like Giselle's story because I thought that he was such a pompous ass that like he was humbled and then he became pompous again. It's like it was a very like defeated hero. Like you went on this quest to learn something, you learned it, and then you instantly forgot it because you are an idiot.
He seemed humbled again, from what I remember of Best Served Cold. Like, he didn't seem like an asshole there. When she bangs him, the main... What, did she bang him, or... She encounters him.
Yeah.
And she puts something in his drink to knock him out, or something like that.
That's right, yeah, she does, yeah.
I don't think she actually bangs him, but...
Nah. Yeah, he did seem quite humble then, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, what is that, like, a few years after?
Yeah. I thought the interaction in that one with Ramadan Gorse, he's like the big armored guy.
Oh yeah, and they're doing a reenactment of something like that.
He's like the king's bodyguard, and he gets taken away to have sex with this woman, and when she takes his helmet off, or he's like, "Oh, I can't have sex with you." It's like a real squeaky voice, and he's like, it's like he's saving himself for someone else, and then you find out later on in one of the other books he's saving himself for that woman he knows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird, but like I thought it was a really funny like thing that happened. That you got like this big strong knight, because they have to try and get the king by himself because they want to kill him or something. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like you go into a whorehouse and all the knights and all the guards just like lose their shit, and then it's very easy to get to the king because they're so distracted. Yeah, I thought it was quite funny.
There was something with like a reenactment of Logan fighting the Feared, right?
Yeah, there was actually. It was Shivers and It was Shivers and another Norseman, and that Norseman realized who Shivers was, and that's when he tried to fight for real. That's when they burnt the building down. I thought it
was Gorst fighting for some reason.
That's because Gorst fights in the first book as he's like a very good swordsman.
Yeah, does heavier steels. Yeah,
very cool. What else?
That's actually it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Watching anything? What have you been watching?
Nothing.
Have you read any of the comics you got?
No.
Oh, okay, that's alright. What have I done? I done a lot of Doctor Who's again. A lot of Doctor Who's. Some interesting ones. Stuff where like there's a planet and the planet's all sand and stuff. Yeah. And the Doctor turns up and there's like just a regular old mystery where like people are going missing or whatever. Right. And it turns out that the sand is all dead people. Like this whole entire planet is like sand because the Daleks killed so many people. Wow. And everything's all sandy, and like the Daleks are all stuck underneath the sand. Holy and they're like screaming forever because they've gone mental because they can't get out from underneath all the sand. Wow. And I thought that was interesting. It's called dust breeding, I think. Yeah.
I bought a shitload of books.
Yeah, I saw the books. Yeah, very cool.
I've started to get embarrassed. I haven't taken a photo of the last couple that have arrived.
Oh yeah, nah, do it. I think it's good. I think it's great to have a bookshelf. I think it's cool, but as long as there's some of the stuff that you're gonna read, like,
so far, yes.
Some of them for the shelf. Some of them are just like to look there, so they look good. I don't want to be like a.
Yeah, well, that was the
like
Gentleman Bastard.
Oh yeah, right.
Like I don't think I'll
read those again. they're on your shelf and you know exactly what happened.
I'll read the books again. I don't know if I want to read the hardcovers.
Yeah.
True. I want them to look nice.
Yeah, that's another thing. There's another thing. Yeah. I think that after I finish this, because I'm right at the end of that Clive Cussler book now. I haven't finished it. Every time I go to finish it, like something else happens, and then I start reading something else or do something else. When I finish this Clive Cussler book that I'm on, which feels like 5 books, because there's always like a different thing in it. I think I'll read Sahara, and then I'll read the latest one, and then I think that'll be maybe it for me. Clive Cussler, and then I'll start moving on for some other books and stuff. Oh, but you know what? I thought, like, this is gonna sound a little bit like mean, but now that Clive Cussler's not around making those books anymore, there's like there's gonna be no one doing like treasure history, like National Treasure, Indiana Jones type books anymore. There's not gonna be no one doing it.
Yeah.
So I feel that's like a bit mean and sad. Like, it's an open market for anyone now. I guess maybe we'll get someone else doing something cool. So yeah.
Thinking about maybe reading The Great Gatsby next.
Dude,
Seems it's like a very short book, right? It's very thin on the shelf. So,
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. I remember it was like 300 pages or something. I remember it took me a long time to read it, a very long time.
Right.
Because it was like one of the first books I got into reading.
Oh, okay.
And back in those days, I wasn't reading very much at all. And the Old English really got me.
Oh, okay.
But it's not that old really. And
20s?
Yeah, 1920s, yeah. And it was I've like had a go at it again like recently, just like had a little thumb through it and stuff. And there's some really cool stuff in there that like I even forgot. And I was like, oh wow.
Okay.
It really made me want to watch the movie because it was I think I just finished it, and then the Leonardo DiCaprio one came out, and I watched that, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to start reading the Lightbringer series. I've heard a lot of good things about that, but I do want to finish some of the series I've started as well.
Yeah, fair enough. If only you could do all the books, all at once.
Yeah.
Do all the books. Yeah. Sometimes it's just not like really enough time, Interesting. So, what do you reckon we're gonna do next month?
The Troop.
The Troop. Yeah. And who was that done by?
Nick
by the
Cutter.
Haven't finished The Bat.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Haven't finished The Bat.
Have you read any of it lately?
No, I haven't. Never done any of it, but I think I'll have to.
It's okay.
I'm sort of re-energized on books now, so I'll jump into it. It was only in the last few days that I felt re-energized in it. Like, yeah. Just had to take a bit of time off, eh?
Yep. Yep. I've done the same. Not recently, but I've had to do the same. Just take a week or two off.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get into that. There's a lot of cool books that are out there that I want to read. So
yeah.
I was actually just someone asked me something about someone asked me the other day about something about Africa and World War II, and because we'd read the Stephen Pressfield thing, I like boom was flashed back to the whole story, knew all about it.
Long Range Desert Group.
Yeah, Long Range Desert Group. Yeah, that, conditions were quite hard for them and stuff like that. And then it just sounded like the most pompous asshole was giving them this thing about World War II.
Nice. It was a good book.
Yeah, it was a good book, man. Really good.
See, I would like to own that physically as well. This is the problem. Like, I want audiobooks are great, but I can't
physically own them. Yeah.
Look at them.
I see. That's why I'm going into the Kindle stuff at the moment.
Right.
I've bought the guy who wrote the Nikki Heat series, the Richard Castle ones. He brought out his own book, but you can't get it on a lot of platforms. So I got it on the Kindle version.
Right.
I'm gonna read that soon. But I was like, oh wow, there's like so many books, and you can get them all super cheap on this thing, and they're not going to take up any space on my bookshelf. So you can get a lot of rubbish books, or like a lot of books that you're just going to read, or like enjoy, and then your shelf is free for the absolute premium ones that you want to like display and stuff.
Yeah, I'm being much more careful with what I buy. Like it's either I know it's good because I've either like read one in the series or something, or I've heard only but good things.
Yeah, that's sort of what I want to go for now, because I have limited bookshelf space now. Yeah, and so it's only comics that I really want to get in, or really books I really want to get in. I do want to get into the Witcher series, but because I've read a few of them, onto like the second or third one, and I've got the books waiting there. Probably the same as you. Like you're trying to get into this Lightbringer series, but I've got other things that I've got like stacked up on the bookshelf next to not the bookshelf, but the bedside table, ready to be read.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. For the most part, I don't decide on what I'm going to read next until I've actually finished the book. I don't know why, but
I think that's good because like you have a chance to like feel out for what you want to read next. Like when you plan a whole lot of things, like you've recently just got a whole lot of Joe Nesbo books. If that was me, I'd put 3 of those Joe Nesbo books next to my bedside table. But like I'm gonna read those motherfuckers after this, and then I would have read 1.5 of them or 2 of them, and then I'd be like, I don't want to read any more detective books in ages now. I've read too many of those books. So it's good to get like a good amount of variety in. I wouldn't mind finding it like a good fantasy book again. Like I think The Wheel of Time was really good, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to jump back in and like do a
might be Lightbringer. Honestly, I've heard so many good things about it.
Well, maybe we should do Lightbringer then. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to the Troop. Sounds good.
Yeah. I read like half of it years ago, and it was really good, but I was just useless at reading. Yeah. It's probably one of the last books I started reading when I first started reading, like a bunch of years ago. Yeah.
Game of Thrones weekends where you just like sit there and shiver and read Game of Thrones.
Dude, I was like waking up at 5 a.m. to start reading it and shit.
I need to know what happens to Ned Stark. I've seen the first season, but the books could be different. Ned, are you still there?
And I was like reading series like one after the other, like straight into the next.
Yeah.
Which I can't really.
I've
only done that with The Risen.
I think I loved The Risen, man. I loved it. But I remember you did all the Game of Thrones, all the Joe Abercrombie, and there was something else that you did.
Series.
Wool series.
I did.
Something else you asked me to read back in those days, and I can't remember what it was.
Well, I read the first Mistborn.
Oh, Mistborn, yeah.
And I read Sand, which is by Hugh Howey, but it's not part of the Wool. Series.
You got the Wool one. Oh, you got Sandy just recently. And did you get Dust? So Dust, or is Dust?
So Dust is the so the Wool series is Wool, Shift, and Dust.
Oh right.
And then there's Sand, which is separate.
Oh okay.
Which is very good as well, though.
Cool.
Can't remember what else I read.
I remember you got me into The Martian back in those days. That was
I read The Martian.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what started me reading all those years ago. Actually,
there's another thing I wanted to ask you. Actually, I completely forgot about when we were talking. What did you think about the first-person narrative on the Ready Player One?
It's good. Yeah,
because like you're more used to like the third person or something like that, right? Or like having like an omniscient view.
Certainly with my writing, but with reading it doesn't bother me or anything. And it made sense because of the nature of like what he's describing in his
periphery and everything else.
With the headset thing.
What did you think about like that? Did you think he was like bigging himself up sometimes, being like, I know exactly how to do this? And did you ever think he was a bit of a tough spot, or did you really just go along with the book and you're like, oh wow?
For the most part, I was just going along with it.
Did you? And the other thing is like, did it ever make you want to write a book of a character who was an asshole as well? Because you could get into like, obviously you can think like other people when you're trying to take this view on, because it's whatever they're thinking, whatever they're saying. And I guess that's where the thing you said before about the narrative, the unreliable narrator comes along, because it's only their view of something.
Yeah.
Whenever it's only your view of something, when you're living day-to-day life, you don't have any idea what other people are saying about you.
Yeah.
So you could do something where it's like The Martian, where the first 5 chapters are all first person, and then you find out this guy's an absolute asshole.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I didn't think about it in that way. I was just.
Sorry, man. I think I just like blasted you with questions.
No, it's okay. No.
No. Yeah, good one. Yeah. Well, yeah.